Good morning to all. Hello to everyone joining today's webinar. I'm Dr. Pradeep Bolani, and as the co-convener of this event, I'm delighted to welcome a diverse and engaged audience. Your participation greatly enriches our discussions and underscores our shared commitment to advancing in our respective fields. I look forward to a productive conversations and collective learning as we embark on this educational journey together. SPS is distinguished for its engaging webinars, further enhancing its status as a leading platform for continuous professional development in pharmaceutical sector. I am confident that today's session will uphold our tradition of excellence, providing valuable insights from a respected speaker. Let us seize this chance to gain new knowledge, uh, participate actively, and progress our field. Welcome, everyone. I look forward to a productive experience for all participants. Thank you for joining us today. We are gathered today to commemorate this 86th SPSR webinar on decentralized clinical trials and beyond, transforming clinical research in the digital age. A distinguished event hosted by the Society of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research. Under the esteemed guidance of Dr. Shashi Alok, the National President of SPSR, the Society continues to play a pivotal role in fostering innovation and advancement in the field of pharmaceutical sciences. The SPSR is devoted to advancing the pharmaceutical field through a variety of strategies. Our mission is to organize conferences that support pharmacy related initiatives and endorse programs tackling public health issues in India, focusing particularly on disease prevention. We make it a priority to recognize and honor pharmacists whose notable contributions drive progress in our field. At the heart of our mission is a commitment to spreading pharmaceutical knowledge, ensuring a steady and robust exchange of information about pharmaceutical practices and services. By striving towards these objectives, we aim to elevate the quality and impact of pharmacy profession, fostering a proactive and collaborative community dedicated to excellence. It is our great privilege to introduce Mr. Mujeebuddin, Director Admissions, Malla Reddy Vishwavithyapeeth, deemed to be University, Hyderabad, Telangana, India, as a distinguished speaker. Mr. Mujeebuddin expertise greatly contributes to our event, providing substantial knowledge and insights. His participation is certain to enrich our discussions and expand exploration of clinical trials. We are grateful for his engagement and anticipate an enlightening session. It is our privilege to introduce Mrs. Monika Sabharwal as the co-convener for today's webinar, who also serves as the founder and National Secretary of SPSR and CEO of SPSR Periodicals Private Limited. Her significant involvement and leadership in the pharmaceutical sciences and research communities are indicative of her commitment to the field. We are very grateful to have her guidance in today's session. Now we will start with a short introduction to guest profile. Mr. Mujeebuddin is a distinguished clinical research leader and educator with over 18 years of extensive experience in clinical research and pharma IT. He has held pivotal roles in globally renowned organizations such as QPS, Perexel, Accenture, Oracle, and IQVIA. In 2019, he founded Clinosol Research Private Limited, a leading clinical research training institute that has grown under his visionary leadership with a presence in India and Canada. Clinosol is known for empowering thousands of life science professionals in the fields of clinical research, pharmacovigilance, and medical writing. An esteemed speaker at global forums like ISCR, SCDM, IPC, and the G20 Tech Summit, Mr. Mujeebuddin has also served as a bridge between industry and academia in his role as a placement coordinator with the Indian Pharmaceutical Association. His dedication to education and innovation has been recognized through several prestigious awards, including the INSC Academic Excellence Award, COVID Warrior Award, and the honor for the best clinical research training in India. Mr. Mujeebuddin continues to drive excellence in healthcare education and is an inspiring force in shaping the next generation of professionals in the pharmaceutical and clinical research domain. It is with great satisfaction and pride that we declare that we have exceeded more than 1,600 registrants globally, showcasing an impressive diversity of countries. Significant attendance is noted from the nations including India, Cameroon, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Iraq, Kenya, Malaysia, Nepal, Nigeria, Oman, Pakistan, Philippines, Saudi Arabia, UAE, USA, Uzbekistan, and Tanzania. We are deeply moved by the substantial and varied responses we have garnered. Our heartfelt gratitude is extended to each person who has taken a moment to participate in this significant event. Thank you all for joining us today. Let's make this webinar an insightful and enriching experience for everyone involved. We have our esteemed keynote speaker, Mr. Mujeebuddin, with us. Welcome, sir. Your insights would be highly valuable, and I would appreciate if you could present them in a speech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pradeep sir, and thank you, Alok sir. I think it's a Sunday morning, and most of people are excited, and I'm seeing in YouTube also there are so many people who are attending. So it's very difficult to bring students on Sunday because you can't bring the students on regular days. You are successful to bring on Sunday, and that too on virtual YouTube. I think it's a very big achievement for the team who has organized this wonderful event. So I'm able to see so many people are from different locations, and I got the information that most of people are from different countries, 15 or 16 countries and 1,600 registration. You are forcefully stopped because more people have got registered for this event. So thank you, team, for making this happen. And I'd put just some kind of a questions so that we can initiate this discussion. So I'm also looking at YouTube chat box. So those who are hearing me at this session, so I have one more screen with me. So I'm able to see on chat window of YouTube. So first question, are you able to see my screen? And also, are you able to see me? And you are able to hear me clearly? So these are the three questions I want to know. So are you able to see my screen? I'm visible, I'm audible. So are these three questions yes? YouTube people also can answer, and definitely, Pradeep sir, you can confirm me if my
Audible and visible both, sir.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So now to make it as more interesting topic, before 2019, no one thought that this might be a reality that we'll be sitting at homes and we'll be listening to this kind of advanced topic. And most of these people might have not thought that these three questions might become regularized. That are you able to see my screen? Is my voice audible? Is my voice audible? I'm able to see this. All these questions came into picture when COVID came, and COVID has hit very dangerously. That everyone was in homes, but we are from healthcare industry. We are from pharmacology and pharma background, and we will not be able to stop anything because patients were dying and they were waiting for new medications or new vaccines or new devices to identify and predict the occurrence of COVID. So this made a reality because earlier decentralized clinical trials was there, but theoretically and pilot studies were able to do it. So now if I tell you something like this, there was one pilot trials which we did in US with the help of Uber. Okay, I think most of you know about Uber. Uber, Ola, all those are the cab people who do take one person from one place to other place. What happened actually was there was one clinical trial. Every week, patient have to visit to a hospital. So this was the situation. But there were nearly 10,000 people across different locations and across different sites, different hospitals. There was a big challenge for it. Then what company thought is let's hire or let's make an agreement with Uber, and we will use AI, and we will put a timeline for which patient, which date, which time, which hospital. And then we'll pre-book the cabs. Uber cab is pre-booked to go to the site and also to come back to the home. Now, with this, we were able to manage the high amount of missing of the patients going to a site. Uber used to come to a patient home, pick the patient, drop at the hospital. No need of a sponsor or an investigator to call a patient saying that you come, you do, because a reminder is going to a patient and also reminder is going to a Uber cab, and Uber cab is automatically booked because we have pre-programmed the booking of the cabs for the patient. Not necessary patient has to go to a centralized hospital which is at 200 kilometers away. They were going nearest to hospital and nearest lab center where they can give the sample or attend the participation. So how can we do this is something which came into picture, which is decentralized clinical trial. Now, I think most of people are using this technology, which I'm going to speak today. This is going to be a very interesting topic, and this is the future topic for those who want to go into clinical trials or clinical research or CDM or pharmacovigilance or medical writing and so on. So now my topic name very clearly decentralized. So now word is decentralized. Now say for example, is this session is centralized or decentralized? Now if I come into a conference hall and speak in front of a screen and there is a PPT and all people are sitting in one cabin, then that is a centralized. If you are listening this session at your ease of a home, without having a disturbance of traveling, taking this time, efforts, everything, then it is called as decentralized. The word is the virtual and also an offline. Now, which one is the best one is most of us have accepted virtual reality. Now, say, for example, I don't know how many of you really go to a shopping mall to do a shopping. Now there is the apps, different apps we have. Either it's Amazon or Flipkart or ABCD. You open a phone, you put 3, 4 items, and tomorrow morning you see out of that two you will remove and two you will pick it up. That's your virtual reality. That's the beauty of what exactly is moving. It's a decentralized organizations or decentralized activities which we can do it. Now, I'll take an example of clinical trials because the future is all about new drugs, new devices, new vaccines, new cosmetic products, and new nutraceutical products. All this new has to come only when you conduct a lot of clinical trials. If you conduct clinical trials, evidences will come, regulatory bodies will accept your molecule, and you can get a molecule into the drug. So now very recently, there was an article which was got published that how many companies are investing to bring the molecules into the new drug molecules, because the future is not about the chemical entities, it's about the biologics. It's a large molecules, it's about vaccines, it's about blood products, it's about vaccines, it's about cosmetic products, it's about devices, it's all about the latest trending technology which has been going and seeing it. So that's where the introduction topic has started, which is called as decentralized clinical trial, the transforming of clinical research into technology era. See, now you don't come and tell that, sir, I don't know about technology. I don't know what is this, all those things, because a pharmacist without technology is just a pharmacist. But a pharmacist with the technology is called as a techno-pharmacist. The futuristic word is called as techno-pharmacist, who has a very vast knowledge about technology and understands that how we can use it. Say, for example, I'll give it just an example. Now, a patient ran to a medical shop, but suddenly medical shop is closed, but he wants a medication immediately. Now, how can I make the medical shop running without having a proper pharmacist by using a technology, something which you can think. So now say, for example, you go to airport and you see a vendor machines wherein you go and pick some cool drinks and then you take it, you pay the money and you come out. But the problem here with healthcare sector is there should be a prescription which is being given by healthcare professionals or a doctor, which can be reviewed by a pharmacist, then can be made available to the patient. But how can we make a prescription online or a prescription with a e-prescription with QR code, which can be scanned without having a pharmacist and automatic dispensing can happen? That's something which we have to look at it with the use of technology, how we can use the technology. Very recently, there was one situation. There were very remote place, which was tribal place. And then to send one medication from one location to the other location was taking so much of time. How can you use a drone-based dispensing? By marking a location, a drone will fly from a medical store to the patient home, wherein the doctor is waiting for the medication. without having a roadways or without having a trainways or without having anything, you can still give the treatment to the remote to remote location. How can you use that kind of a technology is something which we are going to speak about, the technology era. The word which we are going to use is clinical trials, which is decentralized with the help of technology. That's the beautiful aspect which we are going to look into it. If you guys learn about this, the futuristic jobs are all your jobs. Just that you have to focus on this kind of environment. So with that, I think I'll go to my first slide, which speaks about what exactly is clinical trials. I think most of you guys are excited to know about clinical trials, and everyone knows what is clinical trials. The clinical trials are structured research studies. These are the research studies which are involving human beings to evaluate whether the medical, surgical, behavioral, or device or vaccines interventions, how they are going to work. Either it is safety or efficacy. So the most important concerns are two. What is the safety of drugs, or what is the safety of vaccines, and what is the efficacy of vaccines and biological activity of the vaccines and all those things. That's the beauty of clinical trials. Without conducting of clinical trial, you can't bring a new molecule or the existing molecule for a new indication or a new purpose. Then you need to conduct the clinical trials, and how beautifully you can design the clinical trials virtually or decentralized trials is something which we are going to discuss today. The second very important point is traditional trials. Now, traditionally, what happens is the patient used to go wait for a doctor. Doctor used to come. There will be a token system, and then you have to wait. Go to a doctor. Doctor will speak to you. Then he will write a prescription. Then that prescription will go to a lab. Lab people will give a blood sample. They'll give a result. Evening, you will go to a doctor. Doctor will write a prescription. That prescription you will go to a medical store, and medical store people will give a medication. You will take the medication. This is the whole story, and you need to spend 1 or 2 days of a time, lot of efforts, and a lot of the time, energy, money is going for all this kind of a thing. But how can you make all this thing virtual and make the patient sitting at home rather than patient is running to a doctor and hospital is something which we have to discuss about it. Now, what are we going to do? It is the first point is patient, once he get an allergy, he will go and put it on a chatbot saying that I need a doctor appointment, and chatbot will pick the nearest doctor who is a skin specialist and book an appointment. Exactly at 15 minutes before, patient will get a reminder, doctor will get a reminder, everything is set, Zoom call is open, and then telemedicine, both people are talking, patient is showing my allergy, screen allergy, then doctor is writing e-prescription, and also the one prescription is going to a lab, and also one prescription is going to a patient, and then patient is waiting at home. Lab people will come to take a blood sample. Blood sample is been taken. The lab will send a soft copy, one soft copy to a doctor, one soft copy to a patient. And then immediately after that, doctor will call once again on Zoom call, will explain after reviewing all your signs and symptoms and also your lab reports, your disease is considered as ABC. One prescription for a drugs is sent to a medical shop and one prescription to the patient. And this prescription is being analyzed by the pharmacist. Drugs are put into drone. Drone goes to a patient home. Patient opens the phone pay. He will pay the phone pay, and then he will take the medication. He will start using. In this all story, in story one, it was all about centralized traditional treatments. The part two, it was all decentralized treatments. That's a future, how you can utilize the technology, imparting into the patient healthcare, making sure that you are saving time, money, efforts, and making sure the best healthcare facilities are being provided to the, see, if you wanted to create a big facility, it is most of problematic zone. For example, if you want me to come for a conference and speak in a big halls, you have to spend a lot of facilities and also travel allowance, that, this. But for a Zoom call, you really don't need anything. I can project anywhere, any spot, any place. I don't need to spend my other times. I can go outing, I can do whatever I want. But that's the beauty, that how you can conduct the decentralized clinical trial. The traditional trials were always site-based. It was hospital-based. Patient used to run to hospital, and also centralized location. And logistically, it is very complex to send the medications or to patient coming, waiting for the doctor. Doctor writes on a paper, converting into the electronic copies. Then patient coming for a follow-up. Patient gets an adverse event. He is unable to talk to doctor. So much of complexity was there in traditional clinical trials. But now, the future or the current sector, what we are looking at is the patient-centric. So patient is been taking the decisions that how clinical trial has to be conducted on him, because about patient we are working and we are making patient outside of the trial. That's the biggest problem. Healthcare sector is alive because of patient. Patient is everything and he is at the center. He has to be a part of clinical trial. He cannot be out of clinical trial. Till now, we considered patient as out of clinical trial, but now going forward, it is all about patient centric and also how scalably we can improve. You can't say that one hospital, only 10 people are able to come because doctor is not having time. How can we make 100 patients so that we can reduce the time for the market in the drug? And how can we make sure digital solutions can be given or technological solutions can be given for decentralized clinical trials? In simple terms, siteless clinical trials are called as decentralized clinical trials. If there are no sites, hospitals, and the facilities have reduced, but we are doing the clinical trials as per the regulatory environment, is something which is called as decentralized clinical trials. Sorry. So now the most important story, what are decentralized clinical trials? Why the decentralized clinical trials? See, the most importantly, right side pictures is showing that there are doctors and there are pharmacists, there are lab technicians, and there are radiologists who are working on this area, wherein all the people are on the screen. So everyone is on the screen and one person is making note. So this is the beauty. What is decentralized clinical trials? How can we use technology? So DCT uses technology in remote processes to conduct a different part of a clinical trial outside of traditional clinical sites. You don't need a hospital to conduct clinical trials. How can which is called as decentralized clinical trials. These are also called as virtual trials, siteless trials, or hybrid trials. If some visits patient might come, some visits they can do a virtual. See, there are three types of trials. First one is totally central, and second one is hybrid, and third one is virtual model. Now, in this, there are different parts. Say, for example, first you recruit a patient, then you take a consent form, then you conduct a clinical trial, then you collect the data, then you analyze the data, then you submit the data to the regulatory authority. So this is the path. First patient you will get, then you will give a consent. You'll explain about what is the testing you are going to do it, and then you will collect the data. Then you conduct the clinical trials. Then all the data is being analyzed and also visualized and then submitted to the regulatory authority. Now, in every part, for first one, patient recruitment, you can take it with your technology. The second one, e-consent can be taken. You don't require a patient to come to take a consent form and to understand the consent form. E-consent can be done. The remote monitoring can be done, which is how you can do the monitoring of patients. Say, for example, patient suddenly got heart attack. He has to call you, not needed. If he has one variable where he can collect that data immediately, that is sending a SOS message to an investigator saying that your patient is under danger because he is having abnormal heart rate. How can you make it that way? Remote monitoring. And patient does not need for a smaller issues to visit to hospital. Say, for example, he got just a slight cough. You don't require a patient to run to a hospital unless and until it is a serious, and facilities at the hospital can be utilized for other purpose rather than making the patients to bombard with a lot of things. So now telemedicine can be used, and also home healthcare support. Say, for example, you have every colony, you have one lab and one pharmacy area. How can we use that particular local lab and local pharmacy area, local doctors to make sure they are part of a clinical trial and patient does not need to travel 400, 500 kilometers to go to a centralized hospital. So now I think how are we going to do it is something which is more important for us, how the decentralized clinical trial uses the technology. So now already have said digital recruitment, e-consent, remote monitoring, telemedicine, and home healthcare. See, recruitment of a patient was always challenging, but now it has become very easy. Now, say, for example, in this session, irrespective of the religion, caste, language, barriers, everything, people are joining this session. That's the beauty of virtual online platforms. How can you bring everyone, make sure that the mindsets are matching, and how can we exclude the other kind of barriers to conduct clinical trial is more important for us. Yeah. So now next one, what is the evolution of DCT clinical trials? What was the evolution of DCT clinical trials? So now pre-COVID, pre-2019, it was limited pilot trials in telemedicine and also remote data capture. Only two things were there. So it means that telemedicine was there. Some visits we could have done with telemedicine. In the right image, you are able to see here. So this is your telemedicine where patient is directly talking to the doctor and saying that patient, I have some XYZ problem, and doctor is typing that and sending a prescription. In a right hand side photo, you are able to see that the data has been collected and one pharmacist is working on remote data collection of the information. So now two images clearly speaks how the clinical trials have grown from pre-COVID to post-COVID. So now I think everyone, I think it was a meme every time that COVID has changed our lives, pre-COVID and post-COVID. So COVID is really a nightmare for everyone because it was a situation where no one knows that are we alive or are we going to be alive after 2 years or 3 years, because everyone was really worried about how are we going to survive this COVID. So pre-COVID, limited trials, but post-COVID, the accelerated option due to lockdowns and travel restrictions. Now we came and we implemented and we were forced to implement the virtual clinical trials or decentralized clinical trials. Now, complete decentralized clinical might be difficult. Now, say for example, I can't expect a patient not to visit any time to a doctor, because there is one problem with this is the way I'm looking at the session now might be little bit 10% less when I take it in conference hall. So when I take it in conference hall, every eyes are on my face. I don't know, no one is using phones and something. But this virtual trials, there is one of the biggest disadvantage is, are they really listening to the sessions? Can I engage them into the session virtually? Is something which have limitations. Now, the physical activities which are being done offline at the centralized hospital is not be able to do it in the online. So many a times we will ask the doctors also, do you meet the patients outside of your clinic in a coffee bar or coffee shop? So now we will ask this question. So doctor will say that, no, I'm very busy, I cannot meet the patients. So if he is very busy, if he is not understanding the patient issues, then what exactly he's taking a decision of the patient. So now patient centric is more important. And remember one thing, the future is all about to listen to the patient, to take an action on the patient, not about just what knowledge you know, put it on paper. No, you have to understand how the patient is behaving and what best treatment can be given, how best I can reduce the pain of the patient is something which is more important for activities and more important things. So post-COVID, accelerated adoption due to lockdown and travel restrictions, and we made integration. One is AI, artificial intelligence. The second one is IoT, which is Internet of Things, and cloud-based tools or platforms where big data can be put into the servers like AWS or any servers where you are putting a lot of data, because everyone is working on one thing, which is called as servers, data centers, big data centers they are preparing and constructing, because huge amount of data is pulling out. You really don't understand how much data we have, how much data we can predict. Now, say for example, the summer season has started and everyone is worried about how the sun is going to act or behave in the month of May. Already April, we are having so much of problem. If you collect huge amount of data, then you can analyze and you can think and tell that how I can reduce my the pollutions or the heat strokes or other things, what activities I should do with the prediction policies. How can I make the prediction models? How can I use IoTs or data mining or big data analysis to future or to make sure understand about the future? So that's about the evolution of DCT. The most important point here, we have spoken so much of decentralized trials. The most important point is, what is the difference between the centralized and decentralized clinical trials. Now, say, for example, site dependency. What is site dependency? Hospital dependency. Do you require a big hospital and 20, 30 people working at the hospital? Centralized trials conducted at fixed hospitals and fixed clinical trials to initiate also. There are so many things which has to be done for this kind of clinical trials. Now, that's a conducted at fixed sites. But while it comes as a decentralized clinical trial, it's completely remote or hybrid patient location. You don't require a patient travel, or you don't require a patient to come and waste the time or efforts or money. Kind of a site dependency is reduced. Now, patient visits. Now, I don't think so patient will be happy to visit a site unless and until it is very emergency situation. Now, everyone is busy and everyone wants to utilize the time, and then the patient visit is in-person visit is required for centralized clinical trials. While decentralized clinical trials, the patient visits is just about teleconsultation and home visits, wherein there might be a pharmacist or a lab person who can come and look into it. The third point, data collection. So data collection manually on site, on paper, we are collecting information, paper, writing paper, everything. But data collection in decentralized trial, it's a real time. Wherever patient is getting abnormal heart rate, a variable is collecting the data and sending immediately. You don't require a time or efforts to wait till he goes to a site and experts it. So wearable apps and real-time information can be collected with the data collection system. And the next one is recruitment. So recruitment of the patient in centralized hospitals, it's less site-based and also limited. So doctor can get only the patients who are available with him. Doctor can't use any other medias or any other marketing strategies to get the digital outreach, border outreach by using HRs and EMRs. We can't get this kind of information. That's a real time, and the data outreach and also broader reach is missing in the recruitment kind of a information. The next one, monitoring. Monitoring of the subjects, monitoring of the data, or monitoring of the clinical trial. It was in centralized site visits by the CRA. Every CRA used to run and they have to do the clinical trials, and also they have to work on this. So now the remote monitoring and e-source is the best future for the decentralized clinical trial. The decentralized clinical trial has moved on to the next level where you can conduct a remote monitoring, and the patient reported outcome, either it is ePro or ECOA, it can be collected virtually by the patient and can be given to the sponsor. No need of a patient to trouble the patient, just getting an alarm and then he is collecting the data. How can you make this monitoring into the next level, which is called as remote monitoring and e-source? Information can be done in decentralized. I hope I have clearly explained about how centralized and decentralized trials are happening. Clinical trials are compulsory to be conducted. How can we use technology to conduct decentralized clinical trial? And in any of interview, if you attend these interviews and speak about, I know about decentralized trial, I know about the process, I know about the technology, I know how it is advantageous over centralized trial. You are the one of the person who they are looking at it, because this is about futuristic activities, how we can use it. See, now one of the most important point which I wanted to reiterate, the pharmacist has to have pharmacology knowledge, definitely yes, but apart from that, they should be a tech savvy. Apart from that, the highest amount of communication and convincing and project management and leadership skill is more important, and innovative skill is more important, because the futuristic jobs are more in issues because of AI activities which are being implemented. The reputational works or the manual works will be reduced, but more of technical activities and more of technological activities and more of innovative solutions will be increased in terms of job opportunities. So now the job opportunities in future is very challenging, how we are going to work on the futuristic careers. Yeah, so now this shows very clearly the picture image that what is decentralized, what is centralized, and what is hybrid. I have three pictures here. So now this is fully centralized. There is a patient at home and there is a doctor, and he can use on phone or laptop. This is completely virtual or decentralized. All the procedure are conducted virtually by using digital technology and supply delivery. Now, there is one more thing which is called as hybrid. So now this hybrid is patient is using laptop and also phone and watches, but the blood samples or the blood transfusions or drug administration is conducted at hospital. So the three are at the hospital, the three are at the home of the patient. It's called as hybrid. See, most importantly, hybrid is more easy than fully centralized or fully decentralized, because some of the visits patient might reduce, and you can next time you can have fully decentralized clinical trial also. So now less complex trials, because they don't require in-person visit for small kind of activities, but they can do with a telehealth and remote data collections and direct to the patient, they can do it. Now, fully centralized, this is a complex situation. Now, there is no patient home here. There is no technology. There is no phone. Nothing is there. It's a complex trial procedure, and screening and protocol cell therapies and magnetic resonance imagings are conducted via research sites only. And there is no patient visits at home. It's all about conducted at research site or hospitals only. So this is the overall picture. What is centralized? What is hybrid? What is fully decentralized? So now it's an image which clears you most of information. Now, if you carefully look, the patient is at the center. And now the drugs are manufactured, came into the site hospital, and drug is being sent with drone-based dispensing, and patient is having internet connection, and patient can directly go into web recruitment. Patient can conduct the clinical trial with local MDs. Patient can give local lab sample, and patient wearable devices can give all the information to the databases or central databases. Now, patient is at the center. He can participate in any of the clinical trial, not necessary that he has to go and travel anywhere. Drugs will come, patient recruitment can be done, local MD doctor can be taken, local lab can be given information. All the data are securely transferred with variables to the secure database. And you can make sure the time, effort, money, and everything is reduced, and as soon as possible with highest quality information and data can be brought into clinical trials. So now with this kind of trials which are coming into picture, we have got so much of advancement in decentralized clinical trials. Yeah. Now, types of decentralized clinical trials, hybrid and fully remote, already have explained. Hybrid decentralized clinical trials, the participant might come to sites for some clinical trial visits, such as screening, enrollment, and while other things can be completely done remotely at the home. Now, fully remote, every aspect of trial is handled remotely with the trial organizers working with the sites directly to the patients, shipping teams or care nurses, and many more to ensure trial is run smoothly without patient ever needing the living home. So now, most important question, everyone has this. The stories are all good, sir. Now, first of all, what are the technologies which we are going to use it in terms of conducting the clinical trials? The RESIT utilizes technology and remote healthcare services to conduct some or all trial-related activities out of the traditional clinical trials. First one, telemedicine. Second one, e-consent. The third one, home health services. The fourth one, ePro or ECOA, electronic patient report outcome, and also digital apps and variables can be used from the start of a trial to the end of a trial. Every data or every recruitment, every monitoring, data collections, data visualizations, ePro information, variable data, integrated services with the lab information, all this information can be collected by using different technologies. So you name a technology, AI, yes. Data science, yes. Machine learning, yes. Big data, yes. Blockchain technology, yes. Cybersecurity, yes. All these technologies are being used in terms of conducting the remote virtual clinical trials. How are we going to do this kind of a clinical trials? Now, in a comprehensive visits or in an easiest way. So one is telehealth visits. You don't require a patient to go to a hospital. They can use a mobile apps directly. They can participate. E-consent, which is the consent form which you can collect directly information from the patients. direct to patient drug supply, which is drone based dispensing, which the image is clearly explained here. The next one, wearable device monitoring, wherein the monitors are being put into the sensors and the wearable devices where they can directly collect the information. ePro, mobile health apps like patient report outcomes, and also mobile health apps can be used. And sample collection services. Sample collection services are also one of the most important thing which you could collect it. So what are the different technologies which are powering DCTs? So the DCTs are being powered with data predictions and analysis, which is AI/ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning, which is about the predictions and analysis of the clinical trials. Cloud platforms for real-time data sharing. So you can share, you can have the information on the cloud servers. Mobile health apps for symptom trackings and all those stuff. And blockchain technology for the data integrity and transfer of information and security reasons, we can use blockchain. Next one, IoT, which is for continuous monitoring via wearables. Wearables can give information and continuous monitoring can be done with the information. Now, what are the guidance which we have? Already the guidance are being explained. US FDA has given guidance on digital health technologies and remote data collections. EMEA decentralized clinical trials post-COVID, MHRA, CDSCO, encouraging hybrid models. ICH E6R3 also has given the draft includes your flexibility for decentralized approach, how you can conduct the decentralized approach. Who are the implementing the decentralized clinical trial? All stories are good theoretically, practically, everything is good. Are we really implementing this? Are we doing this? Already Pfizer has started first fully virtual clinical trial. No patient will visit to anyone. And Sanofi and Novartis and Janssen has started their virtual clinical trial model, including CROs, contract research organization, Parexel, Icon, and Covance have started, and they are doing the lot of decentralized clinical trials. Tech platforms like Medable and Science 37, Motive, and also Obio Health. All these people are the tech platforms who are conducting the decentralized clinical trials or fully remote clinical trials or virtual clinical trial. Best advantage, patient engagement has increased. You don't have the patient problems to come. The patient engagement is increasing. Global reach inclusions, different subjects can be included. Real-time continuous data collection can be done. Cost reductions and also faster recruitment and highest retentions. The engagement is more, retention is more. You can conduct the trials quickly and you can get the approvals of the clinical trial very quickly. DCT uses, particularly in therapeutic area like the cardiovascular monitoring wearables, we are using it. Neurology, Parkinson's symptoms and tracking are being done. Oncology, ePro at the home infusions support rare diseases, patient access across all geographics. Infectious diseases like COVID-19 virtual studies also we have conducted. The impact, patient-centric impact is patient can participate home, fewer visits, more engagements, personalized interactions because of teleconferencing and telemedicine, improved adherence, easy for elder patients, and also disabled and rural participants. They cannot travel frequently. Flexibility, boosting the patient satisfaction, and also the data quality. So the challenges, what are the challenges which we have to implement the DCT? First one is digital literacy gaps, and there will be a bias for using the digital apps and all those things. Connectivity in remote areas, you cannot expect the Wi-Fi to work in remote places. Varying the global regulations, data privacy, cybersecurity, trust human interaction in virtual care. So this trust human interaction in virtual care is less because direct interaction is more. The future outline of DCTs, hybrid models are new normal, which are needed, better interoperability between the systems and expansions of AI in remote data interpretations, greater emphasis on diversity and inclusion, need for global regulatory harmonization is the future outline for this. So with this short note, I would like to end with this last slide saying that decentralized are not just a trend. They are transformational leap in the clinical research. They're breaking the barrier of the access, geography, time through the smart integration of technology. Future clinical trials will be faster, more inclusive of the patients driven of it. So now I'm very thankful for all the people who are patiently listening to my session. If anyone wants to ask questions after this session also, please reach out to me in LinkedIn or Instagram. My LinkedIn and Instagram are Mujeebuddin Sheikh, and you can even ping us on Clinosol Research. That's the official LinkedIn and Instagram pages if you have any questions. With this, I'm open for questions. I hope I have cleared so many aspects. You can ask me any questions now, and you can ping me in LinkedIn or Instagram, or you can ping my company, which is Clinosol Research, and you can ask any kind of questions. So I'll stop sharing by this. We were end of the session. I'm open for questions.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of SPSR, we extend our sincere gratitude to Mr. Mujeebuddin for delivering such an insightful and engaging session on decentralized clinical trials and beyond, transforming clinical research in the digital age. We deeply appreciate how clearly and comprehensively you explained complex aspects like e-consent, remote monitoring, and AI integration in clinical research. Your session has sparked thoughtful discussions and broadened our understanding of digital transformation in clinical trials. We are truly grateful for your valuable time and contributions to our 86th SPSR webinar. Thank you once again for your remarkable contributions to our 86th SPSR webinar. Now, there are some questions in the chat box from the participants, sir, and I will be asking some of them. So the first one is, sir, can AI and machine learning can be used for predictive data? Mehra has asked this question.
Yeah, I think machine learning itself is having the models for data predictions. And we are using this. We are using this. It's not that we're not using it. Even Google Maps uses machine learning models. They
Right.
uses machine learning models. Once you start, it will give you every day where you are going the same location. It will give you how much time based on the traffic, based on the any construction works and all those images it takes, and it gives the artificial intelligence machine learning models, and it gives a prediction
Right.
that how much time it will take. In the similar way, it gives a prediction that if you go into this space, how much time it will take for you to complete it. So that's about the predictive modeling, and AML can be used in this. I would request all the students to be more active on tech savvy. That's the most important. You are a pharmacist, proud pharmacist, definitely, but technology is something which we should not miss it.
Right, sir. So the next one is, sir, what are the main driving forces behind the global shift towards decentralized clinical trials?
Yeah, so what happened was most of times India is the most preferred destination for conduct of clinical trial. Multiple reasons are there. The first reason is the diverse population, patient population, and you name a disease and we have it that kind of a disease and combination of diseases. The second point is the highest educated people and youngest generations are in India. The youngest people from 25 to 35 years are in India. That's why India is called as youngest nation. The third most
Right,
important
sir.
point is we are speaking English. So the English speaking is more. And now every country wants to come and test their medications with the regulatory approvals with the CDSU and USFDA. So that's why it's a global shift of conducting the decentralized clinical trials, and regulatory authorities are releasing their regulations, including Europe and US, and also CDSU has released. And we are speaking more and more about how decentralized clinical trials is being conducted. This session will make sure that how the shift has happened from centralized to decentralized clinical trials.
Thank you so much, sir. Next question is, sir, what we can think of decreasing the challenges like sudden ADRs, which has also to be taken care at instant, and how do we can take care of that situation? Sarmishta Datta has asked this question.
Yeah, sudden ADRs. One question which we have to answer is every medications have the ADRs. we are not much worried about ADRs. We are much worried about serious adverse events or serious adverse reactions. Yeah, definitely we are worried about ADRs also, but most important preference has to be prioritization have to be given on serious adverse reaction. So now we have bought something which is called as chatbot reporting adverse reactions, app-based adverse event reporting. Like say, for example, PVPA has developed an app-based reporting system wherein you go to an app and download an app and then you post it, your adverse event. And even chatbots are collecting the informations. And you can give
Right.
all kind of information with toll-free number, chatbots, and the apps also, wherein you can collect this information and variables are being used. Variables are being used to understand before patient is telling that. Say, for example, I think recently we are seeing a lot of marketing. Your glucose monitoring can be done with a small variable which is being attached to a hand. That's a variable.
Right.
It's being tested or not, but that's a variable. So that's a simple logic.
Right, sir.
It has to come under the purveyance of CDSCO, and also pharmacists should be aware of this wearable technologies, how it is being done.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. The next one is, sir, could you elaborate on how e-consent ensures both regulatory compliance and patient understanding?
Yeah, see, the e-consent story is a very big story. Another 1 hour I need to speak about e-consent and how the consent can be taken. Because earlier days itself, consent was one of the focused area where we were missing so much of points. So first time when we started consent, paper-based consent, and then people started asking whether patient has signed or not. Then we started putting a AV room, audio video consenting. But then most of religions came and said that no, we will not be able to showcase our faces. Then it does not cover under our video. Then we went into the e-consent forms. Then people started saying that everyone does not have technology. Everyone does not have Zooms. Everyone does not know whether the investigator is speaking is able to understand. Then we started speaking about translational. Then we started speaking whether this translation is being done correctly or not. The English ICF, which
Right.
is approved by ethics committee, is translated correctly or not. See, there are so many challenges which we have, but the point here is the people who are knows all the processes are implementing every process as per SOPs and GCPs and regulation, and also as per the protocol. And we are making sure the patient is understanding about the consent form. Not necessarily every patient is coming into electronic consent form only, but patients who are on elite or on kind of a rural people who can come into those activities.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. The last question is, sir, in your opinion, what major innovations will redefine the clinical trials in the next 5 to 10 years?
See, most importantly, I think everyone have to accept that the shift is being done based on AI/ML and also data science, generative AIs. So because I think most of works has been got easy with the chat GPT. If you upload
Right.
a prescription, also ChatGPT is giving proposals. Now that's the development ChatGPT has done. So and it
Yes,
will
sir.
give a star mark saying that don't believe us. You have to visit and consult a doctor. That star mark is there. I'm not denying it, but at least it is giving
Right.
proposals. It might be option 1, 2, 3, 4. So that
It
kind
might be
of
optional.
environment we have created now. The future is all about AI, ML, data science, blockchain, IoT, and big data, and also the cyber security and privacy and confidentiality. All this technology is going to make transformation of the clinical trials. And tomorrow you will see lot of changes in terms of clinical trial. Everyone have to question everything. See, if you are buying any cosmetic products, also first you stop, question it, whether it is really done in clinical trials or not. Where is the data? Who has submitted it? How many approval we have got? So because every organization have to submit, even Sensodyne toothpaste is conducting a lot of clinical trial to explain what is a tooth decay, what is the smell of mouth, all those things they are testing it. How can you make sure you conduct a clinical trial with the help of a technology? Learning skill development is most important needed for the youngsters. And I think I should appreciate the team SPSR for making this kind of an environment where students are getting into one platform and learning. So because students have to be motivated to learn about it, because there are so much of advancement which is happening, and if we don't speak it, people will not know it. And if people does not know it, they still think that okay, if I get 90% I'll get a jobs. Not necessary. Your skill overall 360 degrees how you are growing, because one job 10,000 people, how that one job is
Right.
the best fit. The best fit is one answer which you have to do it.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a great motivation and appreciation. And now we come to the end of this session now, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for answering all the questions so patiently and wonderfully. Your insights have truly enhanced our understanding of this transformative topic. We really appreciate the clarity, depth, and real-world relevance in each of your responses. It's been an enriching experience for all of us. Thank you once again for your valuable time and expertise. Thank you once again for a remarkable contribution to the 86th SPSR webinar. So here we come to the conclusion of this session. As we conclude our 86th SPSR webinar on decentralized clinical trials and beyond, transforming clinical research in the digital age, we are truly inspired by the paradigm shift in clinical research that Mr. Mujeebuddin so effectively highlighted. From embracing digital platforms and wearable technologies to ensuring patient-centric approaches, the evolution of clinical trials is not just a necessity but a revolution in motion. Today's session has shed light on the immense potential of decentralized models in enhancing trial efficiency, inclusivity, and compliance while addressing the operational and regulatory challenges head-on. It is evident that with the right mix of technology, innovation, and human-centric design, the future of clinical trials is both promising and inclusive. We extend our heartfelt thanks to Mr. Mujeebuddin for delivering such a visionary and enlightening talk, and and to all our participants for being a part of this knowledge-sharing platform. Let's continue to foster innovation, adapt to change, and push the boundaries of research to ultimately benefit global and healthcare. We are deeply thankful to Dr. Shashi Alok, the National President of SPSR, for honoring us with his presence. We recognize and appreciate your commitment and guidance, and we offer our profound thanks for your insightful input. We would also like to express our appreciation to our convener, Mrs. Monika Sabharwal, for her pivotal role in organizing this event. We extend our gratitude to all the SPSR team members for their collaborative efforts, which have broadened our understanding and fostered collaborative learning. Your collective contributions have made this webinar a success, and we look forward to the continued collaboration in the advancing pharmaceutical sciences and research. We look forward to your participation in future SPSR webinars as we continue to explore groundbreaking topics and foster knowledge sharing in the pharmaceutical sciences. Thank you once again, and we wish you all the success in your endeavors. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much, sir, from Team SPSR.